Welcome to Totally Talent Podcast by HR.com, your go-to source for all things talent. Whether you're looking for expert insights on high-volume hiring, the latest trends in recruitment technology, or strategies for building a winning team, we've got you covered. Join us for each episode as we dive deep into the challenges and opportunities shaping the talent landscape today. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Totally Talent on HR.com. And I am with Ben Z. I'm not going to pronounce your last name because I'm going to mess it up. But I'm with Ben, who is the CEO of Revelio Labs. Hi, Ben. How are you? How's the conference been?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Thanks for hosting me on this podcast. Very happy to be here.
Great. So what I wanted to kind of set the stage is, why don't you tell our audience kind of what you guys do?
Yeah. So we're a workforce data company. We collect, enrich, curate, and analyze any employment-related data that is from the open web, anything on the internet. Online professional profiles, job listings, employee sentiment reviews, layoff notices, immigration filings, freelance platforms, anything and everything that is employment related. We are all over it. We scrape it, we collect it. And as you can imagine, that data is very messy.
Yep.
It's all text. So we have a lot of models, a lot of taxonomies, a lot of structure so that we can, analyze this data in a traditional analytics workflow. And that's what we do. And we sell data. We provide an analytics dashboard, API integrations, all that. But yeah, we're a data company.
So, it's not just like where somebody's worked, what kind of experience they have, not just skills, but you can also predict how they're going to fare in the job, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
well, you get to a degree.
Yeah, that's hard to predict, of course. Yeah. But yeah, there's different facets that can lend insight to that. So certainly someone's skills, their experience, their skill proficiency, but also the work content of their actual job, of their previous job, the content of what they've learned. So we've been investing a lot in a taxonomy of work activities, tasks, which we think is kind of the holy grail. Like that, those are the components of work. It's very difficult to understand skills without knowing what are the work activities that they unlock, especially now with AI, changing the content of work that people do in their jobs requires a lot of reconfiguration of those tasks.
And changing how they talk about themselves and how they talk about past jobs. Like, I'm not just a writer, I'm a prompt engineer. And so now that opens up a whole nother.
Sure. Yeah. It introduces a whole new language. And we want to be able to track that emergence and obsolescence of themes, of skills, of activities. Yeah.
So I think that one of the things we were talking about before we jumped on is that, I've been talking about the BLS numbers were great, but if you throw shade at them and try to discredit them, where are people going to go? Well, there's a whole bunch of vendors that are sitting on all this hiring data. And so I want to, is there any way that you kind of step in place of the labor numbers and stuff and say, look, this is what's happening in the market, come to us?
Yeah. So when was this? This was just a month and a half ago, right after last Friday. We made the call to publish our own public labor statistics. So that was a lot to do. There's a lot. There's obviously a lot that the BLS does, which is and none of it's simple. I mean, they do a lot, but it's based on surveys, which have been declining. Response rates have been declining for 30 years. Data quality has been declining in surveys for a long time, whereas internet data has been rising for a long time. So I think what we've been finding is that we have the ability to publish payroll data, employment changes, job openings, wages, hiring rates, attrition rates in the economy. And we can provide that, which is some of what the BLS reports. It's the headline numbers of what the BLS reports.
Yeah, you provide a version of it that's free, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Totally. I mean, the BLS is also free, of course. Yeah. But yeah, this is a data source that is independent, complementary, and can be used for similar information. Yeah.
And then so you pivoted immediately on that notice.
Yeah, we jumped on it. Yeah.
That's great. Well, you're there's a couple companies that are going to be try to do what you guys are doing.
I think it's just us and ADP at this point. I don't know of others, but I'd love if there were more. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you excited about with Revelio kind of moving forward? Is there anything that people should be keeping an eye on?
Certainly the public labor statistics and then the job architecture. I mean, we're very excited about, like I mentioned, tasks and activities being how jobs are structured. And we're excited about job architecture generally because we think that's the foundational piece to, first of all, integrating, internal and external data, which is so important and no one's doing it. And that really is the root of good benchmarking. So I think we want to bring more benchmarking to HR. And just to be a little bit more precise on what I mean by benchmarking, I don't really mean benchmarking to an anonymous set. So if you go to, some of these legacy, compensation benchmarking providers, for example, they'll tell you, here's what you're doing and here's what, your industry is doing. And you don't know who's in that industry. Sometimes you want to know, oh, well, that company is, full of bozos and this company is the one that really want to emulate. So, being able to see the actual company information for their peers, I think is really important, really valuable. And I think good benchmarking really is all about good standardization. So being able to have a common taxonomy of occupation, of skills, of seniority levels, of activities is the critical piece to integrating your own data with what you see in the market.
I mean, like, you look at any of these like user groups and stuff. If you're a TA leader or a hiring leader, you want to know how you're doing against what similar companies are doing. Like, just tell me I'm doing, like, if my rates are bad, if everybody's rates are bad, okay, then I'm not that worried about it in terms of like conversions and stuff. But just benchmark, and we're sitting on all this data. So I love the data conversation, but we're going to shift gears a little bit. Vegas do you love Vegas? Do you hate Vegas? There's a little push and pull, I'm sure.
I mean, look, what I like about Vegas is that it's small. Uber from the airport, it's like $20. So, it's like you can get everywhere. It's very walkable. And I love these expo conferences.
Yeah.
I don't really know Vegas the city. The truth is I've only been here twice, only for HR Tech.
Okay.
And I don't think I've ever left this building. So I don't really know.
Well, we're seeing the Wizard of Oz at the Sphere later, which should be interesting.
I hear that's amazing. Cool.
Yeah, they drop like apples from the ceiling, apparently. Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Cool.
But thanks for joining me. I'm glad you had a great time here at HR Tech.
Yeah, for sure. You too. All right. Thanks.
Thanks for tuning in to the Totally Talent podcast by HR.com. We hope you find today's episode insightful and inspiring. Don't forget to explore more episodes and discover valuable resources at hr.com/podcasts, where you can listen to all of our podcasts. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and making a difference in the world of talent.